Good.
All right, it is loading. All right, so we are live. Hello, my friends. I hope you guys are having a very blessed day. This is a special treat that I have for you guys today. And so I'm going to say, if you are a partner, feel free to share this video to your page. You can add your link, make sure that you are tagged. But this is a special opportunity today because I have done many dual lives with my leaders. I have done dual lives with Melissa Thompson herself. But today we get a special treat. I'm about to introduce you guys to Scott Thompson, who is the president of Bellame. And we see Melissa, she's kind of the face of Bellame, really. She's at the forefront. She's very hands-on. But what a lot of people don't see is her partner not only as a spouse but in business. And Scott plays such an intricate role in Bellame. It's honestly, you're going to hear a little bit about his background in just a moment, but it plays a huge role in the stability of the company, the finances of the company. He plays a major role in just even the integrity of the company, the success of the company. So I'm really excited to introduce to you guys tonight Scott Thompson. Welcome. I would love for you just to share a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for that great introduction. I really appreciate that. I think what you're going to see today is that although Melissa's my wife, we have very different styles. And so what I tell people is Melissa handles everything that you see. So she handles the products, she handles the marketing, she handles the website, the look and feel, the colors, the formulations, and I handle everything that you don't see. So I take care of the servers, the APIs, the merchant system, the warehouse, the vending partners, the money, the commissions, the file uploads, and things like that. So we both stay in our lane, and we get along really well when we stay in our lane, and have a lot of fun doing it. Just as a point of background, I've been in the internet marketing business since the late 90s. I got in very early at the dot-com when the dot-com boom was just starting, and it really got into my DNA. I love internet marketing. I love online businesses, and I'm a disciple of building websites and creating a great customer experience. My background is in affiliate marketing. That's what I've been doing for 35 years. Melissa, her background, as most of you know, she worked at many of the top direct selling companies, global brands. One feather in her hat is she ran sales North America for Avon, and she worked at Sell and Dot, Shackley, and other places. And when we started dating, that's really when I got to understand the direct selling business. And it was one day in our kitchen over a glass of wine when I asked her on a second date, which was to start a business with me. And just for the sole purpose of just so we could be together. That was our goal. There was no other goal. It wasn't, a business plan, not even a business plan on the back of a napkin like you see in power lunches and movies. We just did it for that one reason. And then Bellame's just been a wonderful blessing. It's just had explosive growth from the beginning, and we've been so fortunate to meet so many wonderful people along the way. And I'm very proud of the business that we built. We built a business that we would want to join ourselves. No, we took all of the challenges and the friction out of what a business opportunity looks like, and we wanted to make something that there was no financial risk for anybody, and that we provided everything for them. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions that people have, and I'm kind of an open book. I'd love to answer anything else that people want to know.
Okay, so we're going to start off. It was a great introduction. And actually, you covered many of the points that we're going to hit on tonight. But I always love to start interviews with a little fun rapid fire questions just to get to know more about you and your personality. So, and he was not prepared for these. Okay, I did not give him any of these ahead of time, but it's just going to be a this or that. Okay, you ready? So, beach or mountains?
Each.
The beach. We do a lot of Bellamy trips on the beach, so that explains that. Books or movies?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. Books or movies? I would say, I mean, I'm more of a business magazine person. Um,
Okay.
let's just go with movies.
Movies. Okay.
I'm not an escapism reader. I'm more of a
Yeah.
fact finding reader.
Yeah.
I read white papers and boring stuff.
You want the self-development. Okay, I already know the answer to this one because of your wife, but dogs or cats?
Well, although I love all animals, but I am partial to dogs.
Yeah. Okay, music or sports?
Oh, you're killing me. I mean, I love both. I played four sports growing up, but I'm gonna pick music.
Okay. Okay. I'm like,
So,
you're surprising me with some of these. Okay, last two, and then we're going to jump into the good stuff, which these might be the hardest questions for you to answer on this whole interview. But morning person or night owl?
morning.
Morning person. Okay. And would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
I would say I'm more introvert.
More introvert. Okay. I would have guessed that too. Okay. So, kind of going back to the last question I asked, like morning person or a night owl, I would have said that both you and Melissa are morning people. Something that really stood out to me, this was something I learned about you guys a while back, was how you and Melissa start off each morning, which some people may be like, why are you asking that question? But I really think it would be neat for you to share just kind of how you and Melissa start off your morning together, because really y'all kind of go your separate ways after that, working on different things, which we'll get into in a second. But will you share just a little bit about how you and Melissa start your morning off?
Well, being in business together is one facet of our life, but also trying to make sure that we stay best friends, I think is really important. I told Melissa a long time ago, the greatest compliment she ever told me was when she considers me her best friend. And that's what I want in my relationship. We start off every day. So most of the time she's up before me. and
Okay.
then and then by the time I wake up, it's like 6:30 or 7. And then I will make my way into her office, and we have a daily devotional book that we read from together.
Love that.
I do the reading, we talk about it, and then we also talk about our day, like, okay, what's important today, and how are we going to juggle what we need to do together today, and let's make that happen. And we just get in alignment every single morning, first thing in the morning. And I
Love that.
think that helps set the pace for the day, also puts you in the right frame of mind. And it does keep the communication going up, and so we're in tune with each other's feelings.
Yeah, I love that. I actually just saw a reel the other day, and the caption across from it said, I pray each morning that the Lord gets into my mind before I do. And it's so true because we start off our day, we want to grab our phone, scroll. Like I know me, like I want to just get straight to work, but like starting off the morning and aligned and doing a devotional together really just, I know for me, when I do that in the mornings, my day looks so different than when I just pick up my phone first thing and do it kind of as an afterthought. So when I heard that you guys did that every morning, like I just absolutely love that because I share and have shared with my network for a while that one of the biggest reasons I joined Bellame was I felt aligned in the fact that y'all were faith, family, business in that order. And I think that says so much about just how this company started and the direction we're going. I would love for you to share a little bit about your background because this really comes into play with Melissa's background versus your background and how Omni marketing came about. So I'd love for you to just share a little bit about your background and how that played a role into Bellamy.
Well, that's a great question. For my background being in building websites and doing affiliate marketing and lead generation. That's primarily what I built my business on, and my business that I still own and operate. We own 580 domain names, so I like building sites and I like affiliate marketing, and I understand affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing at its core level, affiliate marketing is a company will pay someone or another company a commission by referring customers to their website, and there's a sale made.
Mhm.
Affiliate marketing is free. You can join an affiliate marketing campaign for free, but the advantage to the company, why would Macy's or somebody, a beauty brand, or any other type of wellness company, Dell Computer, Hewlett Packard, do affiliate marketing, is because now they're paying a commission one time. They're paying it one time to that customer. They own the customer now. They own the email, they own the relationship, they own everything, and they know the lifetime value of a customer, and they're going to maintain that relationship. But to the affiliate marketer, they're always out there chasing the next deal. They're not building a portfolio of customers or a team that they can mentor and train. And that's really what I saw with Melissa and her background. When we came together, I was like, direct selling, it is affiliate marketing. It's
Mhm.
affiliate marketing. It's the same thing. It just direct selling has a much better comp plan, you know,
Yeah.
because you get to own your portfolio of customers, you
Mhm.
get the recurring revenue, you get to be on a beautiful team. There's more than just making money. There's this culture, there's leadership, there's mentorship, and you get to be a part of something special. And you get to, if you focus right, you have recurring revenue each month, and your income can grow if you're disciplined and you're just consistent.
Right.
And so when Melissa and I came together with Omni, we wanted to remove all of the friction out of starting a business. I did not want a sign up fee.
Mhm.
I did not want an upsell fee. I spent my whole life buying software, and oh, you want to unlock this level, you have to spend more money. I hate that. And I also saw that with direct selling companies. You sign up or you spend more money, you pay for content, you pay for this, you pay monthly fee. And I'm like, why are people having to pay in order to promote your brand? They shouldn't have to pay. And we should make them partners. And that's why we call our partners partners, because we're business partners. And I developed the saying of, I like to make money with you, not off of you. And so when you get down to it, Melissa and I created a company that we're really proud of. And everybody else at Bellame, I think, is a disciple of this as well. We really are the only company where there's zero financial risk. We're
Mhm.
a safe harbor for making money online, and we're really proud of that. And I think the people at Bellamy are as well. We own our tech stack. We pay for all the content creative. You don't have to run out and buy your own. We All the training's free. You
Mhm.
can show up and get trained. We're not trying to sell you a training program either, and we're constantly reinvesting in our tech platform, and then you get to benefit from it. So when you show up for Bellamy, you're not going to have tech overwhelm. You're not going to have content block, because we give it to you. You can take it as is, or you can modify it for your own use. And then most importantly at Bellamy is be yourself. Be
Mhm.
yourself, and breathe easy, and just be yourself. And if you're yourself and you show up consistently, you will be successful.
Mhm. I love that. I've shared this before, but when I first got started in this industry, my goal was $200 a month. I was that person was like, I don't think I'm going far with this at all. I told my mentor, I was like, I'm not even going to build a team. I really was downplaying it because I wasn't sure that I would be successful. And my goal was $200 a month. And then it dawned on me really in coming to Bellamy and being one of the only the only company that I've ever been with no fees. It dawned on me that I was paying $9.99 a month for pictures. I was paying a website fee of $9.99 a month. I was paying a yearly fee of $75. When we launched internationally, if you wanted to sell internationally, that was another $19.99. And that just was like the reoccurring monthly. It didn't, there was other trainings and stuff we would pay for time to time. And I did the math one day and I'm like, that was about my $200 a month that I wanted to make. And so, I go, okay, cool. I made $200 in my first month, but did I really? Because when you add in all the fees, I wasn't making anything. And so it really is I tell people all the time, it sounds so cheesy to be like, no risk involved, but it's legit. Like there's literally no financial risk. Somebody could come in and join for free, and that's unheard of. And I know a lot of that has to do because our entire tech, our entire website, it's all proprietary. It's all been built with you and your tech team. And so, would you speak to that a little bit? Because I know, some people may go, oh, well, that's nice. Our like a company may not be able to do that because they're paying a third party person, right? So they have to charge a website fee in order to cover that. So will you touch a little bit on like our proprietary system and how that works?
Sure. And first I do want to touch on I love your expectation when you started in the business to make $200 a month. Excuse me. I think that's really important that people aren't, trying to say I'm going to make $500 million in the first year. I mean,
Right.
just ridiculous. And so I do like those real things. And when you talk to people, if somebody wants to make 300 or 500 a month, I think those are very real goals in the beginning. Um, Owning our tech stack has huge advantages. We're when you are renting technology from another company, that company's in business to have a lot of different clients. And if you want to do any customization, typically you have to submit an RFP to them, a request for proposal. You have to have some type of budget behind it. They will
Mhm.
respond to the RFP. They'll kind of put you in queue to get things done. And yes, you are the way that they charge typically is they'll charge you by how many people are on that platform. They call them seats. Software as a service is a great business, but they charge you by how many people and user licenses. And so they'll have so much up to 1,000 people, you pay X, and then you break off these tiers. So companies, they pass those costs on to the partners who sign up. When I was Before Bellamy started, I went to a direct selling boot camp in Las Vegas. Melissa didn't go. She just said, "You go because you're trying to learn this business." And there was lawyers and there's a bunch of technology service providers. And I remember them getting on stage and go, "You will make money off these people at every turn." And I was just like, "What?" I was like, and that was like really the mantra of it. It was like, you're going to make money when they sign up. You're going to make money monthly when they have a replicated website. You're going to do commission redemption fees. You're going to charge them for training. You're going to charge them for creative. You're going to do all of the things, Kristen, that you shared is what they teach. And I came home and I told Melissa, I was like, there's no way we're doing that. Because I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that. And I think when you look at business opportunities, you have to ask yourself, you know, given there's so many bright, shiny objects out there, is this something I would really want to do for myself? Is this something I would really feel good about standing behind? And so that is, why we decided to own our technology stack, number one, because we have 12 full-time developers and they only work for us. They're not shared resources and we can do whatever we want. Melissa, she, believe it or not, she can go in and change things on the site and do things on the fly very, very quickly.
Mhm.
And we, are very sensitive to other things that most people don't understand, which or don't think about. It's not that you don't understand it, but you don't think about compliance and the use of technology and AI on your site tracking and what are they doing with data. And so another piece of my background is I'm a founding board member for an association that speaks directly with the FCC for compliance laws around internet marketing, people who fill out forms, people who are on your site, what you can and can't do with data. And I love it actually. I love being on these associations. One of them is called Reach, the other one's the Insurance Marketing Coalition Committee, and also the Performance Marketing Association. So I've been involved with these groups for many, many years, and I stay at the forefront of compliance with the government. I'm going to a show in the beginning of January in San Diego and a lot of it is just compliance talk. And so I get to meet with people who work in the government and do this and boring stuff like that, but I find it exciting.
Yeah, I'm learning so much. I didn't even know all of that. That's super cool. Very cool. So speaking of, owning our own system, there are some tools in there. And I always tell people I could do a whole entire live just on the features that you guys have created for us to use, but features that I never had in my business. I mean, this is truly in 9 years of doing network marketing. This is the biggest customer base I've ever had by like triple the amount. And I do believe a lot of that is because, yes, it's hard work showing up, right? Growing, but a lot of it is a direct contribution to what you guys have created, like the leads feature, where we can see people who visited our site and reach out. We can see abandoned carts. We can build carts for people. And so do you want to just kind of touch on that a little bit about the tools? Like, it's not just fancy features and these widgets just so we can see more numbers. Like, y'all are creating things that actually help us move the needle in business and compound our growth. So I'd love for you just to share, whether it's sharing about a couple of the tools that you find are the most utilized or helpful in business. I'd love for you to share on that.
Well, I will say this, for the tools and features that we do, it's based on the feedback that we get from our field, from y'all. And so that is a collaborative effort. It's not just Melissa and I sitting back going, let's see, what do we think people want? Let's just dream something up and implement it. They're carefully curated technology implementations that we have to go through. And there have been so many. One that is recent, very recent, that we just released is, kind of real-time commission tracking and real-time sales. It's as near real-time as we can get. And so I think that's helpful for monitoring where you're at and realizing that, if I just do a little bit more, I'm going to hit this rank and I'm going to be able to, get this much more commission. And then seeing your entire customer base, what they're doing, what they're ordering, your team, managing your team. Also, integrations with social media, I think, is really important. How you can, Bellame Corporate can put something in the back office that's ready to go. You can take it and tweak it and you can post it to social. I think overall, and there's so many things. I love how you can create your own bundle for customers and send it to them. They can click on it and everything's right there. Taking the friction out of business. And I think that's what our technology helps you do, is take the friction out. You don't have to be a tech genius to go in there and understand something that has a very intuitive user interface. It's very intuitive, it's smooth, it's logical the way it's laid out. And if you just try and learn that and learn to be efficient in that, I think you're going to be, you'll see a lot more success with your business as well, because you're leveraging the technology, which is going to save you time. I hope that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. And like, for anybody watching that's like, wow, these two are really geeking out over like systems and organization. Coming from a previous experience where we didn't have all that, the organization just wasn't there. I can speak from experience that having the right tools that corporate provides you can help catapult your business drastically. Like I said, my customer base is triple what it was. And I do believe a lot of it are the features that they've created. And with what Scott said, they can just go in and change it. I remember it was my first platinum meeting in Nashville. And we all sat around this table and Melissa's asking, just like you said, for all this input and ideas. And I had brought up something that day. And later we're in a Uber together, riding to dinner. And she says, oh, hey, by the way, like, I loved that point and we're going to implement that like next week. And I remember being like, wait, what? Like, I'm thinking I'm going to share a suggestion and maybe in about a year, 6 months, I don't know, we'll implement it down the road. And it was like, boom. And it was a moment of realization, first off, of how much you both listen to the field. It's just like when Melissa started in this and did a vlog or a blog to hear what everybody wanted. She still does that. But then to see how quickly something could be implemented, that's not something I ever experienced, because a lot of companies can't do that because, like you said, they've got to go through their third party. They've got to see if that's even something within the budget they can add on. Like it's a whole thing that I didn't even realize. So I think it's easy to take for granted, but when you don't have that and you've experienced not having that, it makes such a huge difference in business. Even just how corporate sends out just different emails and runs, a whole email campaign for us. I remember it was a year or two ago when I had COVID, literally was just out for like week. It was terrible. And I'm trying to show up on social media as best I can and post things, but I mean, it was not happening the way I wanted it to happen. And I'm looking at my sales still coming in from different promos that I didn't even have the chance to market. And that was because of what you guys were doing and the emails that corporate was sending out to the customer base. And so it really is this. I love that y'all came up with just the term partners, because that is the best, most simple way to explain it. Is it's a partnership. You guys, we have these products to help grow our brand, and then, vice versa, we're help growing the brand of Bellame. So it really is just such a beautiful partnership, which leads me to just, again, the partnership of you and Melissa. Because I started off this, if you're just now popping in, just an intro of how we see Melissa, and a lot of people get to see the face, and we know that, oh my word, her hand is in so many things. I really don't know how she does it. What does that look like for each of you? Like, what are the things that you're working on, Bellame, on a daily basis that's kind of like your bread and butter that maybe people wouldn't even know, versus kind of what we see Melissa doing on a day to day?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to kind of one just summary comment, which is Melissa does everything that you see, and I do the things that you don't see. And so it's APIs integrating with the warehouse, how to lock down international shipping and returns, and those all the minutia that goes into every little detail. We have to figure that out from a technical perspective. I'll give you one example for just shipping. We have 170 SKUs, 170 different products. And it's not that daunting when you get into how many shades of foundation, how many shades of lipstick and stuff like that, how many flavors of collagen and hydrate we have. But we have to measure every single product. We have to weigh every single product. And then we had to figure out, given this order that somebody's ordered all these different things, what size box that's going to fit in and how much it weighs. Wow. And so we have a database of that we have, and then we send it to our fulfillment center. And then our fulfillment center is told by us, this order goes in this size box, and it's shipping to this zip code or to this country. And so we know we can keep our costs down, we can keep everything smooth, and that way we have a very predictable business. Mm-hmm. And we just you have to own every little single thing in this business. And so those are the things that I worry about. Those are the things that keep me up at night, making sure that you don't have to worry about that, because at the end of the day, our focus, your focus, and my focus, and Melissa's focus is providing the best products and the best customer experience. And if you have the best products with the best customer experience, you build trust. Mm-hmm. And they trust the brand, and they will come back to you, and they will reorder from you. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. We're here to build trust. We have great products. We have a great customer experience. We have less than a 1% return rate. That's been that way for 8 years. It hasn't changed. And it is because the products are very good and we have a good customer experience. And so when getting back to the business side of it, those are the things that, I try and focus on, because that helps your business. You can confidently introduce our products to a customer, and the likelihood of them liking them from the packaging to the product itself is going to be a legitimate, great experience. And that's what really drives us each day.
Yeah, I have, I looked, I think it was last month sometime, and just speaking from personal, like to validate this, I mean, I've sold close to a 500,000 personally since I've been with Bellame, and I think my returns were like 1,400. I don't even know what that math is, but I know it's way less than 1%. Haven't actually done the math, but it's pretty crazy. I mean, and the fact that it's a no strings attached 45-day money back guarantee when some of our products are 30-day supply. I mean, people just truly love these products. And that's another testament to being able to have a customer base that's so much larger now, is because that retention is there for a lot of the customers too. One thing I want to speak on, and this was something that really stood out to me. I mean, really my whole time with Bellamy, but I would say at our conference in Orlando. I was standing backstage and Melissa was about to do a big announcement change to the comp plan. And any company I had been in formally, anytime there was an announcement of a change in a comp plan, I'm like, oh boy, what's about to happen? And truly, since I have been here for 3.5 years, anytime there has been a change, you guys have only added to it. You've never taken away. I mean, and I'll just give a few examples for those listening, from coming in, and when I was here, our quick start program was $750. I thought that was great. I'm like, this is amazing. To now, then it moved to 5,100, and now it's a $72,000 quick start program. And that's just one example. We're talking that conference, I was standing backstage, and we have bonuses just for maintaining, not even just ranking, but actually to just maintain ranks of director of hire, there's bonuses. And Melissa stood on stage and said, we're increasing all of them. I feel like she's like Oprah. It's like, you get a bonus, you get a bonus. Anyways, my point in all of this, and I guess my question I'm trying to get at is, y'all are doing this in a time where most companies are either closing their doors or they're getting rid of their leadership mentor program because they can't afford it. They're going affiliate, like straight affiliate, where you can't build teams. What sets Bellamy apart to be able to do that, to be able to continue to, when y'all say put milk on the table, that basically is saying more money in the partners' pockets? What sets y'all apart to be able to do that in a season where most companies are struggling or closing their doors? What sets Bellamy apart?
Well, I don't have insight into what's happening at these other companies, but I do see the same thing. And I do see a lot of challenges. And, it's varied, why companies don't survive, from not owning their tech stack to going with big manufacturers and doing white labels and just trying to think that they can just put out something and people are just going to, be a customer for a year, and they're not. People are very savvy, and the information online, they're going to look at your ingredient list, they're going to see the efficacy of what the product is, and if there's anything bad in it, and does it really work. I think for us, our success is that we've kept our company lean. We're not, we don't have a lot of people and corporate management. We're just privately funded. It's, Melissa and I as the owners. That's it. There's no other, we've never taken another investor. We're not talking to anybody. We're not interested in selling or anything like that. We didn't start this business to sell it. But also owning our system, I think also, has been just a real blessing for us. And then we've had to iterate too. We've had to make some smart moves. We're on our 5th warehouse right now. Those are some painful stories I went through. I shared with a couple of them on my keynote speech at the last conference. Those were really, really challenging times that we didn't talk about, but you heard about it if you were at the conference or watching the event. Our warehouse now, 7 days a week. We're open 7 days a week, and they run 2 shifts, and we ship to 19 countries now. And we are growing, and our costs have gone down on shipping. We just reduced our shipping costs internationally by $3 a shipment per order on average. So we're, while other companies are facing challenges with, rising costs and not being able to pivot, or they have some bright shiny object business like crypto and something like that that's just ridiculous. We've kind of just stayed tried and true to ourselves and the business, and just stay focused. And that's kind of our focus going into next year. I don't know if that's a question or
Oh, yep.
all
Keep
right.
going.
Well, I don't want to jump ahead too much. You go ahead.
No, really, that was kind of I was looking through my list of questions, and that's a big one that I would love to cover is just kind of what does this, I mean, we're coming upon 2026, which is quite crazy. And just kind of what is not only just like the vision for 2026, things you're excited about, just kind of where Bellamy's headed. I'd love for you to share some of that.
I think my personal answer is going to surprise most people on where Bellamy is headed. In a world of AI and bright shiny objects and systems that do everything for you, and you have to do nothing, and this, that, and the other thing. That's not us. And our vision for 2026 is kind of doubling down on being in person, being yourself, and being consistent and showing up. As we go into 2026, right now, is one of the biggest times of the year, maybe the biggest time of the year, if people don't realize it. New Year's resolutions. People want a better year. They want better health. They want better financial security. They want to just do better overall. I will tell you this, being in lead generation, affiliate marketing, education, people who want to go back to school to earn a college degree, is the Q1 is the biggest recruiting time of the year. There's more money that goes into education recruiting in the first few months of the year than any other time, because this is when people want to start a business, get educated, improve themselves. So right now is such a good time to consider joining Bellamy. You're not going to be overwhelmed by technology. You're not going to have to spend any monthly fees. You don't have the creative stress. You can just focus on being yourself. You're not going to get caught up into what I call analysis paralysis, which is what people do when they try and figure everything out before they get started. You are successful when you just begin. And the people that we want in 2026, we've always wanted this people, but as I thought about this meeting, I thought, going into 2026 is about doubling down on human connection. You can't trust me, nobody who's watching this would want them for themselves to be put on an AI autopilot for another company or any company. Well, just join me. I've got a system and we'll put everybody on autopilot. You can't put a relationship on autopilot run by a bot. That just won't work. Okay. I do believe in systems that create efficiencies in your workflow. Absolutely. Create efficiencies in your workflow, but you can't replace relationships with AI or a bot or something like that. And as we go into 2026, the people that I hope that we attract, and I hope the people that can join, are those people that perhaps aren't sure. They're not sure that they're ready. They're not sure that they have the confidence. They don't have all the answers. You're the one that I want. You're the one that I want to join, because you will quickly see that nobody has all the answers. And when you start any business, you want to tell stories, and you don't have your own stories. So guess what? Get with Kristen Vance, get with other people and tell their stories until you have your own. Stories are relatable. And that's what I'd like to see for Bellamy going into 2026, is just attracting a lot more people that don't have it all figured out. And that's okay. You'll see it's not as hard as long as you're just showing up. I do have one other quick thing I want to bring up. I was reading today. I was reading today about, I'm also a disciple of success and achievement. And I was reading today about what separates, and this is so, the business people, the very, very top business people. And also, as I explained, I played four sports growing up. I played tennis, I played baseball, and I was a pitcher, and other sports. But I looked at, like, tennis. It's a very individual sport, and so is being in business. You can be in business, as well. Sometimes you feel like you're on your own. But what separates people who really are successful versus those that aren't? And I think tennis is a good analogy. The number one and two, the top five players in the world, they win 1 to 2% more points than the rest. Now, think about that. 1 to 2% more points. So out of 100 points, they're winning maybe two, maybe three more points than somebody who's ranked 20th in the world or 50th. That's their difference. And how does that relate to your business and my business? It is not about having all of the answers. It is about just being consistent. Be consistent and show up. It's and being consistent means getting in the game. I have another saying, another Scott Thompsonism. I'm full of these things today. You can't win if you don't play. And if you want to play and you want to succeed and you want to get in that game, you win. Hey, even somebody always wins the lottery. Somebody just won 1.7 billion. As crazy as that is to buy a lottery ticket, guess what? Somebody in Arkansas who was visiting in California bought a lottery ticket, but they live in Arkansas and they just won the highest jackpot in the history of everything. Somebody's going to win. And it's by showing up and buying a ticket on yourself and being consistent. That's the one thing. Be consistent. Just show up, put one foot in front of the other, and you'll succeed.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I want to go back really quick and piggyback off of something that Scott said, because when you were talking about connection, because listen, I think there's a healthy balance, right? And like you said, we believe in systems. We create our own systems, but you can't lose that like point of contact with people. And it was about 2 years ago. This is when some of y'all may have heard of this program. It's called Mini Chat, right? People can comment on your post, and when they comment certain words, it automatically sends them a message. And I did this. I went through a season of using it, and it has its place, right? But I went through a season of using this because over on Instagram, I had all these videos blowing up. So I thought, well, this will shoot out a message really quick to everybody. It's crazy. My sales were lower during that time that I was shooting out these little copy paste messages, thinking that I'm getting to everybody quicker. Then when I would just spend time going through each comment, yes, it takes longer, may not get to everybody, but when they actually heard my voice and I was connecting with them, making it personalized, not just like, oh, here's the link, blah, 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 but like, hey, so nice to meet you. I see you're from Arkansas. I see you're from, how can I help? Like, when I spent more of that contact time, that one-on-one time, my sales are higher than when I'm running people through systems. And so I think, that's just a testament to what Scott was saying is I love that about Bellame is we are innovative. We have the most innovative tech system I've ever seen, but not to the point where it's doing all the work and we don't show up and have that connection. And that's why it truly, as cheesy as this sounds, partnership is the best word y'all could have come up with, because it's a partnership of y'all providing the systems that help our workflow so that we can show up and connect more with people. And maybe we spend less time doing the email campaigns because you're doing them for us, right? But we can spend more time connecting with people one-on-one. And I think that's huge. And I think it also kind of recaps the other question that I had asked you earlier about why are some companies struggling? And I'm not, you said it correctly, like we don't know the ins and outs. There's so many different factors to that. But I think one of them too is when we're trying to chase the AI and all the systems and you lose that point of contact with people. I mean, everybody, I say this all the time, everybody's selling something online, right? Everybody's selling things these days. So what sets you apart is, are you willing to build relationships with people? I was so worried about getting into network marketing because I thought I would have to be salesy. And the moment I learned that really it was just chatting with people and networking and sharing the things I loved. And then it's so easily like, and not that this business is easy, right? But from connecting and networking, that's when it began to more easily take off. that's when I was like, okay, I love this. I get to connect with people. I get to, like, there's days that I've said this out loud, like, I can't believe I get to show up on here and do makeup or make my little drink mix for with my wellness products, and I get to talk to people, and this is my job. Like, it's such a blessing to be able to connect with people. And so I love that you guys are so advanced and innovative, but yet you haven't lost sight of what's truly important, and that's people first. And I will never forget last year at my team retreat, Melissa and Jan surprised all my girls at the retreat. It's the first time I heard Melissa say this statement, but she stood up in front of our group and she was just talking about the vision. And she said, I don't care if we're $1 billion company. Like, I don't. She was like, I care more. Are we going to impact 1 billion lives? Like, I want to impact people. I want them to have community. I want them to be in an environment that they love, bringing in finances that help their family. Like, if we impact 1 billion and that leads to being $1 billion company, great, but that's not the goal. The goal is impact. And that is something that I know from being here 3.5 years and experienced firsthand that really sets you guys apart. And I just have to say, because I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys, but just thank you guys. Thank y'all for leading the way in that and being impact driven, because I believe everything starts at the top and trickles down. And because you guys have set that pace, we take on that as well. And so Bellamy has just been such a blessing. And so I'm going to end with two more questions. One that is more for a spouse, right? Because this is, we have men and women in Bellamy, and we're growing in men as well. But it is predominantly a woman-driven industry. And I know one thing that holds a lot of people back is maybe a spouse's skepticism of the industry, or their wife or girlfriend getting into another business. What would you say to somebody maybe watching this that would be skeptical? What would you say to them?
Well, I've had firsthand at events. I've had husbands come up to me, manly husbands, come up to me, and usually it falls into two categories for them. One is, how much time is this going to take away from from me and my relationship, and then the other one is she going to make any money at this? And so those are actually pretty easy challenges to overcome. It's what I advise people is like, hey, you can hear it from me, talk to other people too. Just hear from other people too. Time commitment. Our technology system is there to create a lot of efficiencies in your day and your workflow. This doesn't mean when you come home from work that she's online and you don't have any family time, because family is the number one thing. That's not what this means. And so I'm sure, between the two of you, you find the time that you both agree, because you can't step in between a relationship on that and you have to respect everybody's family. And so I handle these questions delicately. And as far as the financial commitment, I tell them there's no financial risk. And so, if she loves the products and she shares the products, then she's going to be successful as long as she's consistent about that. Everything will take care of itself. And let's just manage expectations and just try and make that $300 or $500 a month. Let's just start there. It's not, and that's it. If she buys products, it's for herself personally. It's not to resell. It's not to do anything else. All sales happen out of our warehouse, off of our website. So this isn't something like where you have to stock up on inventory and you have to buy this. We're nickel and diming you for everything. That's not the way it is. And there's no ongoing fees. So, and then I'm like, hey, why don't you just hang out with, us for a little bit too? And you'll notice that we're just like you. I mean, we want friends. So, I can't tell you what a blessing from my perspective Bellamy's been, just on the amount of friendships that we have that have grown. And if it wasn't for Bellamy, I wouldn't have known so many people and become so close. And people admire, and it is a blessing that they admire Melissa and I, but we admire them back. We love the families. We've been there. We've struggled financially. We're our second marriage. We have 6 kids, between us. And we know what it's like. And my heart is warm when I see people come up to me and say, hey, that Bellame check kept my lights on. Hey, that Bellame check paid my rent, paid off my student loan, bought a car, took my family on vacation. I hear all these different stories. That is what I love to hear. And I also love to see that they're consistent and then they're building on that monthly revenue, because our products, most of them are auto replenishment focused. So that's a very good thing for people who do want to keep putting milk on the table and put a lot of milk on the table.
Yeah. Well, and I can speak from even hearing from Jeremy. He's been a part of every company that I've been a part of. And this is night and day, a different experience for him, because he used to come to events with me and would kind of, like tag along. Some of the guys would say hello to each other, but he came to Bellamy and they had the Bella Bros is what they called themselves. And all the spouses just kind of came together. If the girls are in a meeting, they're out golfing, doing things. And so I remember the very first conference, he got asked to speak on stage too, which was really cool, because this is the first time for me in 9 years in the industry, the first company for me where I genuinely feel like this is a family ordeal. Like up until this, it was like me, I'm working this business, providing whatever it is. And this is the first time it really feels like this family affair. And he stood up on stage. That was really cool to see him speaking on stage, and said it really, I mean, we were 6 months into Bellamy, if that. And he said on stage, which if you know my husband, he's not like an emotional, like he's not a man of many, many words. And so for him to say this, I thought was a big deal. But he said it really felt like a family reunion. It was very chill. It's not celebrity status. It's not lines formed for days to take a picture with somebody. See, I mean, it really had this family feel. And people who come in stay so closely connected to that community. And that's a huge reason and a huge blessing about this company. It's one of the biggest things that I love about this company is our community. And again, that starts with what you guys created, and not creating this celebrity status, like meet me over here at this time. You can get a picture with me or get a picture with my cardboard cutout, right? Like you're actually real people walking around. I remember one of my teammates, one of the very first conferences, she came up to me and she said, I cannot believe this, but Melissa asked me how my dog was doing. And like her dog's name was Lola. Asked me how Lola was doing. And it's like, I can't even remember people's names. And Melissa's out here remembering people's like pet names. And you guys just have such a personable, just I don't know what the word is, but just you're so personable with people. And again, that goes back to the impact, that goes back to just the community we've built here at Bellamy. And I just appreciate you and Melissa so much. And I think you guys make the perfect team and just balance everything out so well. So I'm going to end with two fun questions and then we'll close this out. But favorite Bellamy products, favorite Bellamy trip.
Oh my God. Favorite Bellame product. This is like picking a favorite child. I mean, it's just like, okay, I will answer it this way. I go through seasons, with my Bellame products. Okay, that I like. One constant is the cleanser, and that stays in the shower. So that Melissa keeps hers on the counter because of makeup and routines. But spring, summer, I'm very much into the SPF and I used to do the full Aqua line before we got the Hero. So we created the Hero because that's the eye cream moisturizer and what's the other
Serum.
Serum. Thank you. And so that was like my time saver, and also something that I thought men would be more amenable to grab. So we put it in that matte black, which is a much more kind of, I guess, masculine type of packaging. And then, but lately, now that as we go into winter, I've been still using the serum and the Indulgence Restorative Moisturizer is what I've been using. And then, of course, every morning with my coffee, the unflavored collagen. And then my favorite is peach Bellini, the hydrate. That is my favorite. I know I'm trying the Glow Pop now. but I'm telling you that peach Bellini, I'm addicted to it. I just love that flavor. And so those are kind of my favorites right now. And if you ask me in 3 months, they might shift a little bit, but those are my favorites right now. And then let's see, what was the other question?
Favorite Bellamy trip?
The favorite Bellamy trip. Okay, so this is a good question. So each year, it's a very, very, very difficult one because all of the I'm going to have to lean on the presidential trips right now as far as like favorite when you get there. I will touch on the Bella Dreams that are like the trip that, top salespeople earn. We like to go to all inclusive mega resorts where you're there, put your wallet away, everything else is taken care of. There's 9, 12 restaurants, and we have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. I get to see a lot of my friends and hang out. We have a great time. It really is a lot of fun. But I would say, as far as those lifetime trips, it's those presidential trips where it's, business first class flights. It is staying at iconic places. Every detail, everything is just truly, truly lifetime memory. I mean, honestly. And I give my Amanda, our event director, a pat on the back because she's very much responsible into those details in making sure every little detail is curated and personalized. But we've also, having been in business this long and having done them, each year we get better and better and better at kind of creating that once in a lifetime experience. And I will say this trip to Ireland was my favorite so far. I would honestly say that. I mean, Ireland is a really cool place. We hit both sides of the island. We really did it. I felt we took in the culture. I'm also, love U2, the band, and they're the Irish rock band. And they were right there on the side of the building. And I started playing U2 through my phone and just kind of getting into everything. I also discovered that I like Guinness beer. And I actually not a hard alcohol person, but I enjoyed whiskey. I didn't think I would enjoy any of that, but I had a wonderful time. And so Ireland was super cool, and we got to spend some really good quality time with you and Jeremy. And that was special. That was a really special event. The weather was amazing too. It was perfect.
It was that whole trip. I got home and people were like, "How was it?" And I'm like, I wouldn't just say it was like the best Bellamy trip. Like I was like, it was the best trip, like the best trip I've ever been on in every single way. It was amazing, which I'm laughing because Amanda's on here and said it shouldn't be hard to pick your favorite child, is what she said.
Yeah.
Amanda's our big
Yeah. Well, that's Amanda. That's when I go back into seasons when you're spending all this money on these trips. Not my favorite child.
Yeah, he has moments.
Surprise expenses that she pulls.
Yeah.
I can tell you I rented a castle this year. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, she's like, I just rented a palace, no big deal. And I won't ask Jan's question because she wants to know who your favorite employee is, but we'll keep that one a secret too.
Well, that's an easy one. That's my wife.
No, well, true. You can't answer that one. There you go. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for taking the time. I know you are a busy man. This is also dinner hour for everybody. And so I just appreciate you taking the time just to share your heart and your vision and everything that you contribute to the company too, because you really are kind of the silent behind the scenes partner, and people don't realize how much that you do and how you're such a fundamental piece of this company and the stability, the integrity, the community, everything. So I appreciate you. Jeremy and I just adore your family, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much. And looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yep. We'll see you soon. Thanks,
Okay.
guys. Talk to you soon.